Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll be discussing about the transfer updates of Manchester United in the summer transfer window which took place which ended a couple of days ago, and we'll be discussing about the first two games which were played against Fulham and Brighton. So yeah, let's begin. So, as I mentioned, so we'll be starting with the players who have left the club. So the players which I'll be telling you about have been sold to other clubs from United. We'll start from Hannibal Mejbri, who is being sold to Burnley at 6.5 million euros. The next being Facundo Pellistri. So he was a very good player. He played in a sporadic manner in the club, and he performed whenever he got those chances. So he's being sold to Panathinaikos for 6 million. Next up is a big major missing, I would say, at United. Was a consistent player in the couple of seasons, who is Scott McTominay. So he'll be dearly missed in the club. He was a very good player, a very versatile player. He's being sold to Napoli for 30 million euros. Yeah, he'll be really missed because he played as a CDM, CM striker. He once played as a centre back, so he's very versatile player, you can say, in the club. And whenever he played, he gave it his 100% to the games. And yeah, he'll be dearly missed in the coming games in this season as well as the future seasons. The next player being Jadon Sancho, who was a bit in the news for the past 6 months or so due to his rift with Ten Hag. He's being given on loan to Chelsea, so I wish all the best to the players who have been sold. And yeah, let's see what happens. So next, we have a couple of players who were bought in the deadline day. So the first being Sekou Kone, who is a player from Mali, who is an 18-year-old who has been brought into the club for 1 million pounds, I think. Yeah, so let's see what he does, because as far as what I've read from, I can see that he's a very good player. A couple of videos which I saw. Let's see what he does. Next is Manuel Ugarte, who is one of the players who was tracked by Manchester United since the start of the transfer window. He was bought from PSG for a fee of around 50 million euros. Who we can see is a direct replacement for a player like Scott McTominay. So let's hope he performs what Scott he fills in the shoes of Scott McTominay. So all the best to the incoming players as well. So yeah, let's see what they do in this season. Yes, the Premier League has started, and the first game of the season was played between Manchester United and Fulham. It was a very good game, a game dominated a lot by Manchester United, and that was the first home game of as well as the first game of the season. And we have started with a victory. So that's a good thing. Those 3 points on board in the first game, unlike the previous season where we were struggling in the start to even win the games. So yeah, we'll discuss about this game. Firstly, United won the game 1-0 at home against Fulham. It was a very dominating display from United in terms of possession. As we can see, Zirkzee was the goal scorer, who was one of the new buys in the transfer market this season, and it was assisted by none other than Alejandro Garnacho, our great young player from the previous season, which we can see a good progress for Garnacho from the last season. He came in as a substitute along with Joshua Zirkzee, and both of them created an instant impact ever since coming on in the, I think, around an hour mark or so. So yeah, it's a good start for Zirkzee as well. We also saw a full debut for Mazraoui, who played at right back, and Dillit also made his debut when he came in as a substitute in the final 15 to 20 minutes of the game. So both of them performed really well. Mazraoui was showing a great intent in the game, as well as Dillit. Dillit got, I think, a 15-20 minute spell in his debut game, coming in as a substitute, but he did a really good job holding the score, holding the defense. So yeah, I think he's a really good addition to the squad, especially with United struggling with the defenses in previous couple of seasons. So yeah, I think it's a good investment. He's young, and let's see what he does. So talking about the stats in the first game, United had 55% of the possession overall in the game, with an expected goals of 2.43, which is way less than what the scoreline suggests. But a very good start. Almost two and a half games, sorry, 2.5 goals in the game, which were expected from us, and we scored one. So yeah, I think we converted. We had a total of 14 shots on target, on goal, on the Fulham goal, on out of which five were on target and one was converted into a goal. So yeah, really good. And we also created four big chances. I think out of which one of them was converted into the goal. And the substitutes were brilliant in the game. Ten Hag introduced them at the correct time at around 55-60 minute mark or so. Zirkzee and Garnacho were introduced, and Delit and Evans were introduced later in the game. So yeah, I think it was a good addition to the squad, and he tried it out, and they worked really fine, really well, and dominating game, I can say. And the scoreline suggests otherwise, but yeah, all in all, it was a very dominating game, and yeah, that's a good start to the season. Now, now we talk about game two, which was against Brighton. We lost 2-1 to Brighton away, and I don't know what it is. Brighton has been troubling us for the past couple of seasons, and I don't know what the matter is. Ten Hag needs to look at it because every time, every season is Brighton. I don't know what they cook against us, but yeah, whatever they're doing is really successful for them. So if we come to the game, it was the first away game of the season for us, being the second game of the season, and it was the first loss of the season for United, unfortunately. We had 52% of the possession, out of which and also had 1.5 expected goals from us, which we achieved as as what was expected from us. We scored one goal, and we total had 11 shots on the Brighton goal, and out of which four were on target, and we created only two big chances in the game. So it shows that we had the possession, but the big chances weren't created as compared to the first game, which was played against Fulham. So something needs to happen, I think, in the away games. I feel again, Zirkzee was called in as a substitute in this game. He was brilliant along with Garnacho. Both of them showed intent in the game, and again, the thing is, Zirkzee was a focus point in this game. His call of offside proved to be very decisive in the game. Had he not been in that position, I think the scoreline would have been different, and the we could have got away with a point even if Brighton would have scored in the dying minutes. That is also the one of the concerns which has continued in this season. Uh, Defensively, in the dying minutes of the game, United seemed to switch off because if you see the second goal which Brighton scored, uh, three players were unmarked on the far side of the goal. So that is one thing which needs to be kept in mind because all of the players are focused on the near end, whereas the far end of the goal was vacant and no one was marking the Brighton players. So three Brighton players were there, and Yeah, hope so. Ten Hag takes the matter into consideration and hope we can improve defensively. So, one thing I want to see in the next game is that Joshua Zirkzee might as well can start the game because Bruno's playing as a striker is not working, to be honest, because as we saw in the first game, we had two and a half expected goals, which we only converted into one goal, and that is the one thing which Ten Hag needs to think. I think one thing he can do is start Bruno in his central position and bring in Mount later on as a substitute, and start Joshua Zirkzee in the striker position as Hoyland is away with injury. Then once he come back, he can switch between the two. Rest seems to be good. I think Casemiro was a bit attacking in this game. In the first two games, he took a lot of shots on goal, which were not. Some of them were not on target. Some of them were on target. And not to mention, Amad Diallo played really well in the first two games. It's good to see him controlling the right side, especially considering the Anthony situation. In the previous season, he wasn't able to perform, Anthony, and Amad Diallo, I think, could take that right wing spot as a starter. And yeah, let's hope what Ten Hag cooks in the next games. Yeah, so that's it from my end. We'll continue this series in this season. Let's hope United can get to Champions League football this season. We will be playing Europa League in the in this season. So yeah, let's hope what happens. And yeah, and that's it from this one. See you guys in the next video. Comment below what do you feel about the transfers which we have done this season, the players which have been brought in and sold, and where do you think will United finish in the table in this season? Hopefully, I think we should finish in the top four. So yeah, that's it from this video. Hopefully, we'll continue to win games in the future, in the coming games in the season. And the next game is against Liverpool, and I think Europa League groups will also be announced in the coming days. So yeah, I'll be making a video on that on both those topics as well. And comment below what do you feel about the transfer strategy of Manchester United in this season, which were done in the summer transfer window, as well as let me know where do you think Man United will finish in this season in the points table, and will we have European football? Will we have Champions League football? So yeah, that's it from my side, and thanks for watching.